Yeah, I often get Stamp mixed up with McDowell. The other day I posted a letter using the bloke from Clockwork Orange. Welcome to the Crazy Train, episode 32. I'm your host, Rob Wade. With me from left to right, Sour Crouch. Kiss from a trademark. Brad Harmer.
You're not locked up here with me. I'm locked up here with... Wait.
Do you want to come back in?
You can't.
And Blake Harmer.
Crazy, 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 crazy chameleon. You come and train. You come and train.
You're doing the seal.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Seal of approval.
Seal of approval. Yeah. So you just reminded me actually. Weirdly enough, that this particular mention of trains reminded me of a train story, but it did. I was on the train coming back from London the other week, just the usual commuting time, and I get on the train, and I tend to sit, if I can, if there's space, I tend to sit in those big seats, like the accessible seats where the toilets. But in those sort of side ones by the window, the single ones, rather than
the smelly seat.
Yeah, well, at the same time, I mean, I've got legroom, so whatever.
In my head, you were going to say, I try to sit on pregnant women.
Well, that too, but not this particular day.
The sign says.
They get first dibs, I get second.
So I sat in one of those seats, and I noticed that the toilet was marked as out of order, or marked as occupied. And I sort of sit there, and I'm just like, fucking typical, you know, like, because a lot of the time I tend to need to go because, you know, I'm old, older, and also have knackered kidneys. It's more the kidney thing, really, than the.
You like to seep a bit.
When you say it like that, it sounds gross. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, fucking typical, you know, trains aren't the toilets aren't working, fucking typical, blah blah blah. So the conductor gets on the train, and he notices that the toilet's out of order, and he walks up, and the first thing he says is, like, he asks people sort of nearby, is there somebody in there? I think so. I haven't seen anybody go in. So he knocks on the door. And he goes, anybody in there? And somebody goes, is there somebody there? He said, yeah. He said, yeah, I work for the railway. He said, oh, thank fuck for that. I'm the conductor from the last journey. He's locked himself in the toilet.
Oh, no.
So basically what happened is he went in to check it for a fault, and the door locked, and he got stuck in the toilet.
That's fucking
It's great, isn't it?
That is great.
And then...
you think you'd bang during the, like, you know, saying help when the train's moving?
You would think. I can
up-
only assume that it happened towards the end of the previous journey, because he seemed to be all right with his lot being stuck in the toilet. What was really funny was I got an answer that day to the question, how many Southeastern staff does it take to unlock a toilet door? The answer is 3. Went on holiday recently and went to the arcades. That was pretty cool.
sorry?
I thought you said you went to the Hobbit.
To Norfolk.
Oh, okay.
So it was over my birthday weekend, because obviously I mentioned in the last episode I turned 31 since last time we recorded before that. So we went to Norfolk for the weekend, and there's this little arcade near the caravan park where we stayed, and it's the whole village is like a fucking 50s American, like, motorbikes. You know, it's one of those sort of movies where, like, the motorbike gang comes into town and they're fucking up the local bar and
Last
things
of
like
the
that.
Summer Wine.
That's the one. I think so. Isn't that the one? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, bunch of old Hellraisers raising hell.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Glasses.
Yeah. But by contrast, I saw that really good Nora Batty show. Was it Roadhouse?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a world.
It's got that guy from Wallace and Gromit in it.
That's the
right?
guy. Yeah, kicking people or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Lost track of this metaphor. But yeah, I went in the arcades. Is it me, or have they kind of got shit over the last few years?
Well, I think the main problem is it used to be, I'm talking when I was playing arcades kind of like the early 90s, really.
Yeah.
The arcade machines were technically superior to home consoles by quite a significant margin.
True, yeah.
And I think it's just for home technology, it's gotten cheaper, so modern arcades don't have anything to offer that a home console doesn't.
True, yeah. I think a lot of the...
Unless you're going into like the peripheral light gun side of it, but then that's got its own developmental costs associated with
sure,
that
yeah,
as well. The ones that do come out are great fun, and there have been some great Aliens.
Oh yeah, those are brilliant. Terminator one's good, yeah.
They're great, but again, I'm not sure that's targeting new market. That's targeting people our age who loved Aliens and Terminator when they were growing up. So I don't think there's a lot bringing in a new market.
Yeah,
light guns and on-rail shooters are kind of like they're dwindling at home now anyway. Unless you're
there was a boom of them, obviously, predictably with the Wii and the PlayStation Move because they were made for that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A boom of about 10 games. I mean, there's House of the Dead,
Resi,
Dead Space,
there's 2 Resi ones. There was House of the Dead Overkill. Yeah, there's a few.
There's a few examples, but like because the old light guns don't work on flat screen TVs. Or something, they don't work
with reflect off.
Yeah. It's kind of killed it.
That's why they had to get the Wii bar.
Yeah.
You
could interestingly
or a pair of candles.
Yeah, I was just about to say you can use 2 candles.
You could use 2 candles, and the Wii remote would interact with it correctly because it's just the IR.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it's one of those things. If you for some reason if you're that desperate for a sensor bar and can't find one, nowadays they're probably fucking 10p a dozen.
Yeah.
In CEX.
People probably use 2 of them as chopsticks these days.
Maybe. Yeah. The third-party ones, obviously. Yeah, you wouldn't use the official first-party tech for that. You'd use the third-party Nyko ones or something.
You'd use the Crouch brand chopstick sensor bars. Straight up!
That's how much they're worth to...
Do you just have some sushi?
Yeah.
Don't sue me.
Crouch sushi. We use every part of the pig.
Tramadou, bacon weave.
Crouch sushi. Waffles all the time.
Crouch sushi. Traditional fish and chips. Doritos.
Other
Crouch
crisps
sushi cooked to perfection.
I think we killed him.
You didn't even fire a shot.
Didn't have to.
He set up something else.
Yeah.
Like one of those drones.
Set up a punchline or something.
Yeah. Set up a drone of some sort.
I had to change position. The air wasn't right.
That's your own fault, mate. I warned you off those sprouts.
I ever told you that I like Funhouse?
Did you?
Leave it there.
Leave Funhouse where it is in the 80s and 90s. 80s? 90s?
I don't even know.
How old are those twins?
It's definitely the 90s, yeah.
Is it kind of a show like Get Your Own Back?
It was like basically it was one of the during the 90s. TV production studios had an excess of gunge that they needed. Gunge was a slimy gelatinous type substance which is naturally occurring in BBC television centre.
This is how we have to break it down.
We then had to use all this excess of gunge, so you would get, for comic relief, someone like Andy Crane, you get dumped in gunge.
Andy Crane was a guy
who liked getting gunged.
Yeah. He's kind of a precursor to Andy Peters.
Andy Peters?
Andy?
Yeah, a lot of Andys in the BBC, yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Pandy, I think, wasn't he?
And so there was excess of gunge which needed to be used, so and it would be, there would be 2 teams of children. 2 in each
I don't
team,
think Funhouse had guns, did it?
Hunger Games?
Yeah, it did in the games beforehand.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There would be 2 or 3 games beforehand which would involve climbing through gunge in order to drop a ball through a net or dive into some gunge, because this gunge needed using up because basically we had a deficit of gunge which we owed to us by Libya, and we had to use all the gunge before we could actually enter into it.
And physical exertion is that thing that we used to do in school called sports, which has now been replaced
it was
by...
like school sports day, because when you school sports day when you're at high school is running and jumping and what you would associate with sports.
Yes.
Whereas junior school sports day did stuff like, I'll walk over there with a beanbag on your head and I'll see if you can dribble the ball around those cones and stand over there. And the Funhouse school was certainly much more wandering around with a gungy beanbag on your head.
Yeah. That sounds like a horrendous sexual metaphor. I know it's not.
There would be 2 or 3 games like that, and then there would be a go-kart course where they had to do a go-kart.
It was the twins, wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't there something like there were tags of wood like hanging from...
Yeah, that sounds right.
They had to grab as many as they could on the go-kart course. And then in the end, they actually went into the Funhouse, which was a giant assault course, and again, they had to grab as many of these tags, and each tag corresponding to a prize, which was something like Neo Geo or...
do you remember the sort of activity house we went in Winter Wonderland that year? Did you go to that with me?
No. That was when I had horrendous shits.
Oh, yeah.
What a good year.
So, fun fact behind the scenes, me and Crouch quantify everything by memories of defecating.
Horrendously.
Yeah, exactly. It's only when we've got the shits we can quantify anything.
It was that time that I had the horrendous shits. You know the time.
Yeah.
That second time.
You're wearing your brown jumper.
I was.
Started off white.
I was going to say.
I would like to point out as something that should have been mentioned in Brad's story is that there was such an excess of gunge that when they actually put Andy Peters and dunked him in a load of blue gunge, that's how Blue Peter began.
Fuck.
I don't know what any of these shows are. I only used to watch Working Lunch as a child.
Yeah.
What shows did you watch as a kid if you didn't watch Nightmare in Funhouse?
That's a good question, actually.
Working Lunch.
Working lunch? So just a person having a sandwich?
Do you not remember?
From Pret.
Do you not
You're
remember?
forgetting I'm nearly 10 years older than you.
Working Lunch has been around for ages.
See, the name rings a bell, but I'm wondering if it's the concept rather than the show. Like you say, it was getting a sandwich from Sainsbury's because you got a meeting.
It was a show about finances that played at lunchtime.
You watched it as a kid?
Yeah, I really like the opening with the shark.
Was it lunchtime accountancy?
Did you fucking fap to Bloomberg as well?
I don't have, Enron tattooed to my house.
No.
Nick Cave's gone up!
Just bro.
Did you say Nick Cave's gone? What?
So I like to test you now.
We noticed.
Trademark.
I failed the tests, I failed them all.
Well,
Yeah.
so what kids shows did you watch anything as a kid? Because this is interesting to me actually as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously me and Brad are about 18 months. Is it 18 months difference?
I'm 32 and you're 31, so yeah.
There's 6 months. Basically, there'll be 6 months or a year apart. Yeah.
What kind of age are we going?
Yeah, that's it. That'd be
What
right.
kind of age are we going to start off with then?
Well,
Your age.
I really
How
like.
are you, for disclosure, you are 24?
I am 24.
Thank you.
Hugh Shatner.
Yeah.
I'm 24
24.
years old.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back into the day when I've been down from that mother's womb.
So if we go back 15 years when you were 9,
Yeah.
perhaps?
That's correct.
That's how old would I have been 15
Okay.
years ago? Shit, 17.
I really like
17. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct maths. Just say we just call it
Shit, that's
maths.
no good to me, so I wouldn't be watching. I was aware of stuff like Pokemon and
Yeah. So I mean,
Ed, Ed and Eddie and The Recess
I
and
was-
stuff like that. I was aware of, but wasn't really.
I tended to watch a lot of that stuff obviously because Sarah used to watch it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
She was the right age for that
I
sort of
mean,
thing.
Blake was really into Pokemon, but he was to be honest, a bit too old.
That's because he wanted to be the very best, like nobody ever was. So
Yeah.
and he's still kept that up, haven't you, Blake?
What a shame being people.
Yeah, why not?
the shame of being
Glad you're
people.
paying attention.
It's the shame.
People
The shame
were
of
watching
being people.
That's
Sounds
a play
like-
from the 1800s, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds like a play or a pretentious book. The Shame of Being People by
Angela
Blake
Lansbury
Hartley.
was in that, I'm sure. The
TV version.
The shame of being people.
That's the theme tune.
Trademark!
Would you recommend the rest of the Saturday morning TV shows? Because you're not going live and math and stuff like that.
Going Live was the one with Philip Schofield and Sarah Green, right?
I may be going back a bit too far for most people on the show with that one.
That
yeah.
sounds right. So Gordon the Gopher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the one I watched the
This
most.
was my favourite one with Andy Crane, Yvette Fielding, and Pat Sharp.
That
And
rings
it was
a
all
bell.
like Warner Brothers cartoons. They,
Oh yeah, I remember
They
that.
were
Yeah.
like the first ones to show like Animaniacs.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
Stuff like that. And the Warner Brothers Batman cartoon as well. First
Yes,
in the UK.
yeah.
And that was just such a good one. And what I liked about it was they didn't have any of the stupid phone-in quizzes or any of the phone-in and play the video game over your touch-tone phone.
Yeah.
Which for young listeners was a thing that happened in the 90s. And
Well, video games. I think they know them.
no, they used to do like there would be like
No,
a
it'd be that-
shonky Atari ST Amiga, and you had to ring in and play with your touch-tone phone.
Oh, okay.
That was
Or they'd have to
that was
go
the
left.
1990s version of Twitch.
Yeah,
Or they'd be playing a game on the thing, and then people going down, left, and then because they didn't know up, down, left, and right, they were pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh,
left,
nightmare
right
thing.
dyslexia is one thing. But
They
up, down
turned into
dyslexia
Deep
was-
Learner.
yeah.
Yeah.
Down! Left! No, Liz!
So yeah, I mean, Going Live was probably the one I watched the most. I think, thinking back on it, because I remember very like Gordon the Gopher and stuff like that. I think wasn't Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles on there as
Quite
well?
possibly, actually.
Yeah, because I seem to recall the only
Thundercats, I think.
the only vivid memory I have of the show was that they had a quiz, which was not a phone-in one; it was a write-in one,
Mm-hmm.
and it was to win loads of Teenage Mutant Turtle merchandise. And the question, I remember the reason. This is the reason I remember it. Philip Schofield framed the question as, "Who wrote the original Teenage Mutant Ninja books?" But I love the fact that they didn't say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles books. For all they knew, it was a set of books that were Ninja Mutant.
at all.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not a bad influence. That was like a video game review show.
That rings a
It was
bell, yeah.
Andy Crane and someone else. He's getting a lot of mentions today.
He does, yeah. I
I'm his
mean,
manager now. So every time Andy Crane gets mentioned, it's in for me.
yeah. So hang on, you're paying for his mentions?
Yeah, I'm not very good at business.
Right.
Someone's getting paid.
Yeah.
Trademark.
That's the main thing. Somebody's getting money.
Yeah, I seem to remember that being.
Money's exchanging in my hands.
Yeah, I think it was incredibly 90s though. I think it was very when the word like rad and
Rad and Wicked, and everyone was drinking Five Alive, and really
and Cool Spot was a thing.
wearing
Oh,
short
Cool
suits
Spot.
and a Global Hypercolour t-shirt.
Yeah. It was definitely the time when
Red Sega,
Sega.
your sweatpants.
Yeah, when Sega was king.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember.
Even I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do love your Dreamcast.
you do. A little too much,
I
if
did
I'm
like
honest.
Dreamcast.
Sticking the dick in the VMU.
Yeah, there's always a few people that like Dreamcast, but then I thought because
I was a child at that time, remember?
True. I suppose you stuck your dick in most things.
I never
I
had.
wonder what this
Dreamcast.
does. Maybe it goes in here. Maybe it goes in here. What's
Two
it called
years ago,
for?
actually, there was a Sky One program, and it was like, you remember Games Master was
Yeah.
playing games against it competitively.
My cousin was on it.
Really?
Yeah, got his arse handed to him.
Sky's version, there was a team of like supposedly super good video game players called the Videators,
Right.
and the kids would go up and compete against them. They all had like 80s wrestler style gimmicks.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I
one of
remember
our
now you
listeners-
say it.
Yeah, maybe one of our, Big Boy Barry was one of them. Dave Perry was a video game journalist time. He
Okay.
used to turn up.
I remember Dave Perry
Yeah.
from Games Master.
Yes.
I think he wrote. I think
Yeah,
that's who he wrote
was a
for.
video games journalist.
Yeah.
Probably one of the first, along with Dominic Diamond, I suppose.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that does ring a bell actually. Yeah.
Right in.
Yeah.
If you know what that show's called.
If there's one-
you've got access
It's
to
probably
Wikipedia,
called the
you know.
Videators.
If
Yeah,
there's one
possibly.
fan I can remember, I can think of, rather remember. If there's one fan I can think of who would know that, it would be number one superfan Paul, because he's pretty good for that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul, if you're listening, well, I hope so, because you're the number one superfan. I fucking consider it a pretty standard basic. What was everybody's favourite TV show? But you know, just kind of broadly speaking, what's everybody's favourite TV show now?
TV show now.
Yeah, why not?
Any of the Star Trek to me.
You like Star Trek? Okay.
Yeah, just any of them. I haven't watched Enterprise.
I used to watch a ton of Next Gen with my dad, because my dad was really into TNG, so I used to watch a ton of that stuff.
I
so,
love Next Gen.
yeah.
Objectively, in terms of the stories, I think Next Generation was the best.
I think story-wise, definitely
Yeah.
strongest. Yeah, I think
I
so.
said Deep Space
I would agree with
Nine.
It was Coronation Street in Space.
It was, you know, it got quite sort of dark towards the end.
I'm picturing Coronation Street. Coronation Street in space.
It was literally just a vehicle where you could just bring characters in.
Yeah.
There was no real cohesion to it.
Right.
Some of the characters were good, but it never really grabbed me. I never got into Voyager or Enterprise.
I just never really got into
Yeah,
it.
I probably would like them, just didn't at the time.
Janeway is a cool character.
I've only ever seen a few Voyages, but the one I've seen I've liked.
The one I didn't like at the time, but really want to kind of go back and do is Babylon 5.
Okay.
Because first couple of listeners I've tried, and I kind of like, maybe now I was about 8 or 9 when it came on, I suppose.
Sounds about right.
And I kind of want to try it again as an adult, see if I, as a big boy, see if I get more. Yes, I'm not an adult. As we established.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'd like to give that one another spin, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm the same actually, because a lot of my friends kind of really rate Babylon 5, and it makes me wonder if maybe I just missed the trick, you know, just didn't catch on to it when I was
I really want to do the remake of Battlestar as well. I remember I know it's on a non-brand specific video streaming service.
It's on a video streaming service.
It is, yes.
I'd like to catch up with
I think it's Netflix.
Okay, cool.
Not Flux.
Nutflex.
It is on the Not Flux.
Netflix.
Nutflex sounds painful.
I do like to do it, yeah.
Especially when you stream.
That's good.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
It's not on the amazing perm.
It's on the interwebs.
On the interwebs, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's non-brand specific.
Cat does own them all anyway.
Are our favourite shows of all time, or our favourite shows kind of the moment?
We can do all of them. I mean,
Okay.
ultimately, we got the recording going. Might as well just do it.
Yeah. Favourite show of all, if I had to pick absolutely one show as my favourite one all the time, would be Blackadder, because that just breaks me consistently and has done for a number of
I
years.
still need to finish that.
So I've got
I don't know what you're doing. Enough speaking, Harvey.
I've got a feather trying to
fluff.
He's wafting at a mosquito, but I thought he was trying to brush me away.
it's a bit of fluff trying to get to my face. I'm just trying to wave it away.
At the moment, I think Archer breaks me most at the moment.
Archer's good.
Archer's brilliant.
Crouch to go on and...
Or Blake.
Fuck you, Crouch.
He did Star Trek.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
That's true, I did.
Yeah, well, if I was thinking back to programs I grew up with, and Blackadder, Bottom, Young Ones, and all that sort of stuff, is obviously going to be a bit large influence on my life. But if I was thinking of a programme that I've loved and will probably always love, even though it's ended, be Futurama.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it being required viewing for you in your mind. Yeah. Here's the thing, right? So I was thinking about this more, obviously, because of the events of Rick, the unfortunate events around Rick Mail. But I don't remember Young Ones or Bottom ever doing anything for me when I watched them. I think they just left me cold.
I don't
it's just one of those things. Like it's, I mean, I really like Rick Mail, and I think Ed Edmondson's funny and all. Just never gelled. I used to watch it a ton because like my sister really liked it and my dad really liked it, but. I don't know, just thinking back on it, I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. Just one of those things.
I think I'd take the Chuckle Brothers over Bottom.
So gay when you say it like that.
Take
Chuckle Buttons over the Bottom.
I think I'd take the Chuckle Brothers in the Bottom.
To me, to you.
So you want to put Chuckle Brothers in Bottom?
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
That could work, actually.
Well, I mean, they've got the
Well,
very...
that's a spot-on Chuckle Brothers impression.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah. I suppose I still would say Frasier for me was the very
Frasier.
Frasier's
I
a
love
nice one to
Frasier.
dip into.
I love Frasier.
Yeah.
There's loads
It's
of...
better than Cheers.
There's certain episodes... Yeah, Cheers is very restricted, I think, by its setting, whereas Frasier is much more open.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
And what's interesting is they were never expecting that to be because there were 3 spin-offs that they tried to do, and Frasier was the only one that caught on. Because they tried to spin off Sam and Woody as well separately into different shows.
But Woody spun off into Natural Born Killers, so it was a bit of a tone shift.
Well, yeah, but you don't want him to do the same shit every time.
He does just play crazy now, doesn't he? Or
Kind of.
he always has.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apart from Cheers.
True Detective, is he crazy in that? I haven't seen it.
I really want to see it.
I really want to see
I
it.
just like Robert Chambers anyway.
First of all of you see it. It's on Amazon.
All of you must see.
Seriously.
Is it on the amazing Perm?
Oh, Amazon Prime got it?
Yeah.
On the Perm?
Is it actually on Prime?
It might be. It might be. But
Other primes.
I don't want to pay for
Optimus, for instance.
Ultron.
I'll wait.
Huh?
I'll wait for it to be free.
It's great, especially because the writer, I can't remember his name, he based it on part of the mythology of True Detective is based on an old
King in Yellow, isn't it?
It's King in Yellow. It's got the Lost City of Carcosa
Which is
in it.
Robert W. Chambers.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
And on the surface, it plays as this sort of long TV, like 10-hour TV movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, because I've tried to watch it once and I hated it. It was disjointed. It was missing something. But when I learned that it was there was some kind of cosmic horror backstory type thing to it.
You're like, I guess I'm contractually obliged to like this now.
It's exactly. And I
the Chartered Agreement of 1996.
Yeah. I watched it and it was fantastic. Knowing that.
Yeah.
I couldn't have watched it before, but knowing that...
I think sometimes when things pull a genre switch on you, it either really works or you find it a complete con. I mean, I know The Prestige divided people when the book first came out. I think we're okay to spoilers for a book that came out in 1994, aren't we?
I think we should be good, yes.
Yeah. Basically, it's sold as historical fiction, was marketed as historical fiction, but turns out to be a sci-fi story. Yeah. And some people absolutely loved it for that. I absolutely loved it for that. Yeah, I really but a lot of people kind of felt like, well, if I'm reading a sci-fi story, tell me I'm reading a sci-fi story, because otherwise it feels a bit like a cop-out.
It's like the horsemeat thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Except not a fuck-up on the part of the author.
Basically, Christian Bale could endlessly duplicate horse meat. Is that where we're going?
Yeah,
that's the one, because there was 2 that came out at the same time.
Yeah, there was The Illusionist and The Prestige movies. Yeah.
Which one was the Nolan one?
The Prestige. Yeah. Norton was The Illusionist with Rufus Sewell and Paul Giamatti and all that, and then Prestige was Chris Nolan, Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, David Bowie.
It's the one that he did.
Prestige is one of the few I think I like the film and the book equally, because they both do it very different, very well.
And for anybody who's listening who hasn't read the book, I'm not going to say it in the kind of obnoxious, elitist, snob cunt way of like, you should read the book. Yeah. It's more, I just recommend it.
Yeah, what's the name of the guy? Christopher Priest. He said he saw the Nolan movie,
and he really liked it.
There's several bits he was like, I should have thought of that.
Oh, nice.
So
that's pretty cool. It's a nice approach, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like what's his name, George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, I find I can accept if there's something in my deep brain, the idea of a remake, kind of, especially if it's a remake of something that I liked or an adaptation of something I like, it can kind of really get my back up in line. No, it shouldn't. I know my books don't catch fire, but there's still that lizard brain reaction of, why are you remaking Elm Street?
Don't speculate that you're a lizard, because we've got the tinfoil hat brigade out already. They already listen to this shit.
I know, but in my rational brain, I know, it doesn't matter. If they remake Elm Street, fine. I've still got I've got the other 7 movies. They're not going to go anywhere. But there's still a little bit of lizard brains. I don't like that you're doing that.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like you're overwriting part
It's
of my
like,
childhood.
I wish you wouldn't, but at the same time, I understand that you can.
Yeah, exactly. There's something that my geek brain can kind of accept. That it's the idea. It's not a remake. It's an alternate universe.
Okay.
For some reason,
You find that easier to get your head
Yeah,
around.
something in my. It's not. They didn't remake Carrie with.
Enter Blake.
You got the fucking creepiest door opening
It's
sound
great.
over there. It's great, yeah.
They didn't remake Carrie with Chloe Grace Moretz, but it's ultimate Carrie.
Okay.
Something in my brain can buy into that.
If you switch it in your brain.
Yeah, so I could probably accept Walking Dead if I think of it as ultimate Walking Dead.
Okay. Ultimate right in the field.
Oh, fuck's sake, Brad, my bookcase.
No, we were just saying that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Although you have got Catching Fire in there.
Yeah. Right, it was on the wall pretty much.
I think Dorothy P wrote that what would happen if you threw Catching Fire into the fire.
It would burn, the fire would...
The fire would burn.
The fire would burn. Fire risers.
He didn't start the fire. It was always burning as the world was turning.
But if I'm right in thinking, he did ignite it when he tried to fight it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, yes.
Where is it?
Has anyone actually followed my Facebook, my Twitter feed?
I follow you.
Yeah,
I've
I
got
know I
to
don't.
If you're interested in following Blake's Twitter, it's at fucksake Blake. Because we found an alternative to Fluffy McRorington.
Yeah, there wasn't too many letters.
Wasn't too many letters, but there's no point following him. He never tweets on it. But that's kind of the fun.
Have we got anything in the mailbag?
Yeah. Let me dig it out. Hang on a sec. What's something about you that not many people know?
I'm trans black.
Something about me that not many people know.
Yeah. It can be a random bit of trivia that people might have known and now
Yeah,
forgot
sure.
or something.
I don't know what do people know about me, really.
I don't know.
No, that's what's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, let's just assume.
But no one knows anything about me.
Let's go with that.
My middle name's Alexander.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one that I know.
It's
but
not especially
I didn't know
interesting.
share a few.
I live in the great hope that one day someone will ask me for assistance with a project on Alexander the Great, and I'll be able to say, of course, Alexander's my middle name.
Yes.
It's quite anticlimax because I know nothing about Alexander the Great outside of a admittedly pretty detailed Iron Maiden song.
Isn't he gay?
Ozymandias.
A lot of people in history were, so statistically, yes.
Yeah.
That's how statistics work.
Sure.
Military commander, likes it up a chaff.
Bread stabs.
I can play ukulele.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not especially well.
Crouch sushi contains pork.
And is cooked to perfection.
Even the soup.
And battered.
Battered soup.
Once it's in the plate, it batters the plate.
With that bantered soup.
I was once in a stage production of Jesus Christ Superstar.
That's pretty good. That works.
I once played a game version of The Mirror from is it Snow White?
So what, has a mirror in it?
Yep.
Yeah, I played a game version of The
Could
Mirror.
also be mannequin.
Yeah.
But did say my acting was wooden.
together.
I thought you were just a gay version of a publication.
Blake, this should be good. I don't actually appreciate anything.
Yeah.
I'm
I
grateful.
actually do believe in dinosaurs.
My head was just like...
Oh god damn! I didn't expect when I said stuff about you that people didn't know. I didn't mean we'd ruin some of our canon.
My head was just
That
like,
fucking
I'm
ludicrous.
going to call you out on that.
Yeah, we're not especially concerned with continuity in the crazy track.
Yeah, funnily enough, it's been it's towards the bottom of my list of priorities, along with the paedophile guy.
Carousel is my favourite musical.
Okay, Carousel.
Carousel.
What's Carousel about? I don't even know.
It's like...
Was the name suggests like it just?
It's about Carousel.
Okay, that's good stuff.
It's got Carousel in the story.
All right.
I think it's about... His name's either Ben or Billy. And he runs the carousel for this old woman. She loves him in a bit of an inappropriate way.
Sorry, I spaced for a second. She loves a carousel.
She loves him like she loves Billy.
Okay.
Like a bit too much. Like he's basically her eye candy. But this is like the first 5 minutes of the movie. He meets a young girl called June or something. And it's basically a really sappy 50s Roger and Hammerstein love story musical.
All right.
Yeah, it's my favourite musical.
Okay, fair enough.
Nothing dark and Phantom of the Opera, just something.
Just light and happy.
Yeah.
What's everybody else's favourite musical out of interest?
Mine probably would actually be Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay.
Absolutely love it.
Cool.
It's brilliant.
I think I've only seen it once. But
I was in the stage basically I was Rain and Girls put on a stage production, and I was hired. I used to be play bass guitar, and I got hired as a session musician to play bass for Kids Bass Superstar. Yeah. And it was some of the hardest work I do, because some of the bass lines are incredibly good.
Yeah. And
I was good at the time, and I'm a bit rusty now.
Incidentally, apparently naming our favourite musicals means this is the coming out cast.
No,
the
a lot of musicals are great.
Yeah, there's a lot that are shit as well.
Oh yeah,
that's the same with everything.
I love Rocky Horror Show as well. I think it's just.
I was going to say I like Rocky Horror Show and Bumming a Man.
All right. What's something about you that not many people know? Blake's a big gay.
There are other sexuality.
Could you possibly? That's one of my favourite mispronunciations ever. It was just after David Bowie had his most recent album out.
Yeah.
Newsreader read, David Bowie lives in New York with one man. And the other newscaster said, I think that's Imam.
Nice. What's your so Rocky Horror is your favourite musical?
I do really like Rocky Horror. I do also really like Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors is great fun.
Yeah.
And I've only seen it once, but because it made me laugh, God knows how much. I did really, really like Book of Mormon.
I've not seen that yet.
I've not seen it. I've heard it's good.
That was hilarious.
I haven't seen that many musicals. I really like Chicago actually.
Mm-hmm.
Just quite a good story.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, it's got nice swingy sort of songs.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah in the film. It's pretty cool. There are other queens available.
What else? I mean, suppose that there's quite a few Disney movies that probably qualify as musicals, aren't they? Because they're quite heavily.
Yeah.
I mean, even something
most
like
Disney
even
movies,
Frozen.
Even Frozen. Yeah, I was about to say.
And indeed, it's been turned into a stage production.
Maybe not Iron Man.
Really? Is Frozen being turned into a musical?
Last time I checked, yeah.
It's pretty much
I'm surprised they never did Twilight the musical, because that seemed like a shoe-in.
Twilight?
I'm never surprised they never did Twilight the musical.
But too upbeat.
They did Evil
It
Dead.
seemed like a shoe-in for a moment, because it was during the time that every movie was getting a musical.
Yeah, but all the upbeat movies were getting a musical. This is just staring the musical.
They're my personal brand of drug.
You're my personal band of drug. I'm definitely not a pedo, even though I'm 200 years old.
That's the catchiest
Not
song.
a pedo, not a pedo.
Not a
You're
pedo.
also not the most pedo-y bit in the Twilight song.
No.
Don't doubt it for a goddamn second.
The thing that bugs me about Frozen being turned into a stage show is that all the songs, if you actually watch the film, all the songs are actually in the beginning of the film.
There is a heavy amount.
And then it seems to be about 5 or 6 songs right at the beginning, and then fuck all for the rest of it.
Well, I mean, hopefully they would add some more.
You'd hope, yeah.
I mean, they wrote a lot that got cut out, apparently, in the film, so...
Oh, okay. Because it just seemed weirdly paced, if you know what I mean.
I've still not seen it.
It's good. It's fine, you know.
It's a Disney film.
There are a few Disney films I like, but I would say that generally I'm not a Disney fan.
That's fair enough. It's like your feelings on James Bond, pretty much. Like, you wouldn't consider yourself a fan, but when we went through the list, you liked about half of them.
Yeah,
I like the odd
wouldn't
one,
consider
but
yourself a fan. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't feel the need to watch them all because they're very much the muchness.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I like ones
because we're British.
But I like one. I actually like spy films that. I like spy films that do it, but do it slightly tongue in cheek. So I like Austin Powers. I liked Kingsman.
Yeah.
Kingsman was outstanding.
I haven't seen it. I heard it's really good.
Is it OSS 177? It's a French spoof version of James Bond. It's got the guy that played the main character.
Shipping Das Boot for a minute.
No, it's the guy that played the main character in The Artist.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean.
The artist formerly known as Charlie.
I know the one you mean.
My friend Steve.
He did like a spoof James Bond sort of.
I can imagine him being really good at that.
Well, he's a good physical actor.
Yes, very much so. That film's outstanding.
That film is it is wonderful. Yeah, but OSS 177, I think.
Okay. Is that a musical?
No,
okay.
No. It's just
crazy.
Form the musical needs to happen.
Didn't they do that? They played violins.
On a tangent, my mum got the best play ever at Cards Against Humanity a couple of weeks back.
Okay.
The feed line was, "Before I kill you, Mr. Bond, I'm going to show you." And she plays Sean Connery.
What? I'm trying to think of one of.
I watched the shit out of Highlander musical, actually.
Yeah.
Obviously, I see these cards before I put them in the bag, and I can't think of one about myself. I really.
It's because we already know all the things that people don't know about us.
Sure, yeah, there is that.
So
Does make it more difficult.
It's hard to sift through that sort of.
Yeah.
And then obviously in this room we know more than the people that are listening to us.
Yeah, it's kind of harmless because it's not like we are famous.
No, sure.
It's like we're
putting ourselves out there, but we're not.
We are by virtue of doing the crazy train, I'd say we're actually marginally less famous than the average man on the street.
I thought you were going to say marginally less famous than we started off.
Yeah.
We've gone backwards.
Famous than Billy the Quid. No.
Whenever I see him asking for a quid, he fucking loves me.
He used to like me, and then the drugs destroyed his brain, I think, because he just seemed to lose all concept of racism.
Is that what he's spending his cash on?
I assume so, yes.
Okay. I haven't seen him in a long time.
I feel like, I'm not sure this is true, so I preface that with this, but I feel like at some point he was done for some sort of possession. But I don't know if that's true or not.
By Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah.
No.
The power of Christ compels you.
But I only wanted the power of Christ.
The power of pound.
The power of meth compels you.
Stop throwing those fake quids at me. Hold back.
To something we didn't record.
Oh yeah.
Numb nuts. Fuck's sake, did it again.
Always happen.
Yeah.
Mailbag.
Oh, this one's good. This one could be great fun. But with a preface of keep this in mind, let's not go on too much of a tear about this question before I preface this. What's the trivial thing that gets you irrationally angry?
Pursuit.
When
I knew he'd be first.
When I catch my headphone lead on something and the buds get yanked sharply and painfully out of my ears.
Ooh, nasty.
Especially if it's a really good bit of an audiobook.
Yeah. When memory foam inserts get stuck in my ear, that sucks. It's happened
I
twice.
remember.
Yeah.
What, memory foam pillows?
No, not the pillows.
Oh, the pillow slowly growing into your face.
You're just walking around with these fucking pillows attached inside your heads.
What?
I
Huh?
said you're walking about with pillows attached to.
What makes me inexplicably angry? Tumblr.
Yeah.
Tumblr. That's not trivial. That's perfectly understandable.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Trivial
I'm talking like really first. Ultimately, I'm talking first world problems, I guess.
Yeah.
I really hate it when I'm playing my games in the morning and the light just shines on my TV and I can't really play the game anymore.
That's mine, bitch.
I only hate you when Craig steals someone else's jokes.
Thank you.
There you go.
Penance for the Riverman.
Oh, have it back.
What people would.
Crouch.
What makes you inexplicably angry?
Me?
Yeah.
Me. Fuck you.
Yeah, I send out the who's in for a recording and Crouch replies yes. I'm like, shit! What do I do adding him to the Facebook group? I suppose most of my trivial annoyances come during my commute.
Okay.
I'd say realistically that's probably where most of them occur. I get really annoyed actually, and I don't think this is a trivial thing, I think this is a fundamental manners issue on certain people. I get really annoyed when I'm sat in a chair and I'm like on public transport and I'm doing my best to take up as little room as possible and somebody still gives me shit. Because it's not like I can do anything about how tall I am, right? It's certain things you can't control. And I'm not suggesting it's like comparable to some of the other things that people can't control they get shit for, but...
Well, it's not as if you can fold yourself into the overhead bagging system.
I feel like sometimes that's what they want, you know?
This is the space we have for tall people.
Yeah,
Have you
I'm just
actually
saying
argued
dickhead on a London bus.
Have
I'm
you
not
actually
going to
ended
do
up
that.
arguing?
Oh wait, they don't
Things
have
make me irrationally angry. The number of times I've had to have my boarding pass checked at an airport.
Okay.
I thought that was going
Because-
somewhere else.
What's that, 3 times?
Passport and check-in.
Yep.
Passport and check-in. If I want to buy anything duty-free, I've got to get my boarding pass out again.
Yep.
And the one that bugs me most is at the terminal, boarding pass to get on to a little walkway. When you get to the end of the walkway on board the plane, and they check your boarding pass again, like I've tagged someone else in after the fucking walkway. What? Why?
I've seen some airlines, I can't say this is true of all of them, I've seen some use it to tell you which way to go on the plane if it's big enough.
Okay.
But I agree, I think it makes no fucking sense on the small, commercial flight.
You're a small full Cortina, yeah.
Yeah.
Difficult for me. I get quite angry. You've all witnessed all. Obviously, the listeners haven't seen all my Facebook posts, but a lot of you guys have seen when I've just been in my art uni course and I just rage against the machine almost. I'm just like, you're all fucking young idiots. You're all fucking dickheads.
Well, you know how we feel about you now.
Yeah, it was.
Speak for yourself.
But like,
I don't think he's young.
We made him sad.
Crouch sad.
Crouch
Uses all the pork.
Sad crowd.
uses all the pork.
Uses all the fish. There you go. That's where it goes.
Crazy. Uses all pork.
But yeah, they started talking about the new Star Wars trailer. Like, this is just before like the course ended,
Yeah.
and like they were saying a lot of shit and theorising about Star Wars,
Yeah.
and, like the old Star Wars stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting a lot of stuff wrong.
Right.
And I'm just sitting there getting more and more angry at them.
Why don't you just... Do you never feel the need to...
Well, how badly did they get it wrong? Were they like confusing Jabba and Lando?
It's stuff like that. It's stuff like that, and
I said that's a joke.
I know, but it's stuff like that. And then I'm just like, come on, mate, you're going a bit over the top. Don't just stop listening. You know,
that is an option to you as a functional adult. Yes.
Yeah. Or,
you can just distance yourself from this.
but they are quite loud. But yeah, so I get unreasonably annoyed at young people that think they
I think they know everything.
know everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that at a birthday party.
You think you're so fucking cool, don't you, kid? I'm 9 today. Fuck you.
You think you're 31? Do you?
Think you can kick a ball, you twat.
I was at a 3-year-old's birthday party yesterday, and there was it was at Fort Amherst, and like, there was like a family day, thing, fair going, fake going on, and there was just like a step down bit, and there was like a banister to go up some steps, and there's like a sloped bit of wall, and he laid down, rested his head at the bottom of the slope, picked up his toy Thomas Tank Engine, whichever one of the tank engines it was, and just rested it at the top of the ramp, and I thought, he's not going to. Surely, no, sure enough, just a train just rocketed and hit him in the face. And I was like, I guess this is how we learn.
Yeah, I wonder what happens.
A moment of, he's not.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. The thing I think that we forget, and I'm not talking about we in the room, I'm talking about adults in general, forget that kids...
What the fuck was that? You turned into Taz.
Stop being a coughing now.
I think Brad's can was possessed by Anthony Hopkins or something. I don't know. I think that sometimes we forget, and this is going on a bit of a philosophy tangent, but I think that sometimes we forget as adults that kids need to be allowed to be kids.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that we get too bogged down and too interested, too het up about things that kids should be allowed to find out and allowed to do for themselves without meddling. Right, so parents can be like it. I've seen loads of like parenting blogs about people hovering. Yeah, the helicopter parents. Yeah, I've seen loads of blogs about where some parents are from the same school of thought as me, which is that kids should be allowed to be kids for as long as possible because there's so much out there now that can just take their innocence away. And like the kids, that, you know, you don't get a lot of innocence in life, and actually we're as adults and as kind of people doing it, and I'm sure it's in the best of intentions. People doing it in the name of protecting kids from genuinely bad things, protect them from too much, and actually stop them from being allowed to be kids. So it's a little bit fucking. Well, I mean, at the worst, when it gets me angry, it's a little bit fucking obscene. But at the best of times, it's just a little bit like naive. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's
to think you can protect someone from everything. Like,
absolutely, but you know, it's just
all the time. It stresses you out. It stresses them out.
Yeah. Well, the kid is just like. You know, and the kid is probably more likely to rebel and do the stuff that you're trying to keep them away from as a thing of saying, fuck you, mum and dad, I'll do what I want. You know, when they get to 14 and thus know everything. See also Tumblr. But
what's the first time you ever thought we could do that quickly?
Yeah, cool. Is that Blake? Blake, you've been quiet.
Yeah.
He did.
He did.
He nodded.
The first album I ever bought with my own money was Metallica's Master of Puppets.
Good choice, yeah.
Which I was very... Most people go, oh, that's quite cool for someone's first album, because normally something's a bit shit. But in cross hindsight with that, the first single I ever bought with my money was Pato Banton's Baby Come Back.
That's fucking great.
You know.
To show you how often I buy singles, the first single I ever bought was Jamiroquai's Virtual Insanity.
That's good.
The second single I ever bought was We Made You by Eminem.
Wow.
A gap of about 20 years.
That's massive, yeah.
I think my first one was Bullet in a Bible by Green Day.
Okay. That's the live one, right?
Yeah. Well, I loved it, you know, when I first bought it, but now I can see why people would hate me. probably want to put me on a pyre for it.
I know some people.
Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet was my first one. I got it for 50p in Woolworths because it was one of those. This one's lost its box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Mine was Stereophonics Performance and Cocktails.
Oh, cool.
It's a really good album. Yeah. It's one of those ones that I still listen back to the tracks and just like, fuck, this is good.
Yeah, they were. Really good.
The first
they were great until they did a cover of Handbags and Glad Rags, and you realised how much he sounded like Rod Stewart anyway.
I suppose, yeah. And then after that, and funnily enough, actually, after that point, I felt like the next album after that was one of their weaker ones, and then they came back, Jeep, and then You Got to Go There to Come Back, which was when they went with the sort of bigger band sound, and then they came back to being a three-piece rock band with Language, Sex, Violence, Other, and that was really good. Mm-hmm. So I think they just kind of overreached a bit between Jeep and the next one. Mm-hmm. The first single I ever bought was, I can't remember which order I did this in, they were very close together. It was either If You Tolerate This, Your Children Will Be Next by the Max Street Preachers, or The Drugs Don't Work by The Verve. Yeah, either way I think I did alright.
That could even have been the same week, to be honest.
Quite possibly, it might have been the same day.
Yeah,
back in the day when W.H. Smith were like £3
a CD.
Yes,
certainly about the same time to my memory.
So, last one from the mailbag. This is a good one to end on. What was the last movie you saw that blew you away?
Yay!
Go on then, Craft.
I was looking at you. So
Oh no, that was it. That was it.
You saw Yay?
Yay!
What was Yay? Who's in Yay? Just stuff and people. Props.
Sorry. Right. I saw Mad Max yesterday.
I've heard that's really good.
I've heard nothing but good things about that, yeah.
It's just utterly fantastic. Like,
is it a sequel or is it Ultimate Mad Max?
It's kind of both.
Okay.
In my mind,
Ultimate equal Mad Max.
Yeah. In my mind, I would definitely put it in between 2 and 3.
Okay.
It almost says 3 doesn't really happen, or in my mind,
probably for the best.
Yeah. In my mind, it
now, if we could just get a Terminator movie that does the same.
But it's finally confirmed that George Miller is an auteur. Like he has finally produced something that is distinctly his voice. Like, he did Mad Max. He did Happy Feet, which is he did Happy
What
Feet.
a fucking CV!
I know. I'm pretty sure he did Happy Feet.
Wonderful.
1 and 2. So he returned for the sequel of Happy
Yeah.
Feet.
We don't need another penguin.
Oh no! But then I don't know what he did in between Happy Feet and this, but I'm pretty sure he's been working on this for about 4 years.
Okay.
And it's brilliant. I mean, there's 2 colours in the film that the film was shot in. It's orange or blue.
Okay.
Orange for daytime, blue for nighttime.
That's pretty cool.
And it's just so fucking crazy. It's like watching a 2000 AD like comic strip just come to life. Yeah, it's just so good. My only disappointment was, and this happened in the third Mad Max, is that the Interceptor gets fucking bollocked. Like too early on, you don't get.
It's been so long.
Is that spoilers? I don't know.
I guess if you care about the Interceptor that much, but it's not. It's not really spoilers. It gets totaled.
Okay.
A car gets damaged at some point in a Mad Max movie is what we're driving.
Yeah.
I think that could count as
spoilers.
spoilers.
It's only disappointing as it's the Interceptor. Yeah, you're like, oh no, no.
Okay.
Is Mel Gibson in it?
No, there's not even a cameo.
Huh.
There is nothing.
Is someone actually playing the character of Max? Or
yes, it's Tom Hardy.
So the same character but recast.
Yeah.
Bane.
Cool. He does sound like Bane at one point, and you're just like.
Never get away from that voice now. It's really worth. It's worth a watch.
It's okay. Yeah, I prefer the second one, but
I like the first one.
I love the first one.
Yeah,
I really like the second until someone pointed out as a remake of Heat, and I went,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Mad Max, there's just fucking crazy. There's it's got that same horrible grubbiness that the other films have, but it just pushes it to the max. It's just
see what you did there. Yeah, I'm sure you're the only person who's ever used "to the max" to express anything a fucking Mad Max movie. Yeah. Kudos.
I don't think I actually have seen any reviews that use that actually.
Well, you do now. Quid's in.
Have you seen any reviews?
No.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any reviews, so I haven't seen any reviews.
No.
I've read a couple of social media and now I'm raving about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I read a couple of reviews like IGN and they really liked it.
I think Empire gave it 5 out of 5, which is
quite tough.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Your IGN gave it 9.1.
That's pretty good.
Because they can never give a whole figure anymore.
No.
even The Witcher 3, which is like it's been touted as like being one of the best games out. Well, it's not out yet. But it will be when this airs. Yeah, like they're giving it 9.8 because they have to I don't know, they have to shave a figure.
The 10 is very hard to get on IGN.
GTA 4 or 5, did that get a 10?
GTA 5 got a 10.
Yeah,
I think so. Or if not, it's damn near close to it.
yeah, like 9.9.
Yeah, something like
9.9.1.
9.99 recurring.
Yeah.
We'll get to that stage at some point. I feel like it.
Not depends on how they're doing it, I guess. If they're using maths, probably not.
People won't even understand that.
Maybe not. Brad?
I'm not sure I do.
Last one I saw that blew me away was a horror comedy called What We Do in the Shadows.
Okay.
It's a New Zealand comedy. It's like a spoof, a mockumentary, if you will, of four vampires sharing a house.
Ooh.
And it's just a lot of like fake documentary talking to the camera and stuff, but the humour in it was just so spot on throughout. It's just one of those movies that genuinely makes you laugh so much you can't breathe. It's absolutely recommend it.
Cool. Blake?
I was going to say that one, but to say another film that I've also seen, well, this year, but I really, really liked was there's a film called The Castle.
Okay.
And that is just about, it's an Australian movie, just pretty much about like a simple family just trying to save their house from being demolished by an airport.
Okay.
And it's just...
They're to demolish it so they can expand the airport.
Yeah,
it's
expand
not a Norfolk airport.
Yeah, they are actually living. They are living
just
outside of an airport, and he's going like, "It's such a great place. I don't know why no one wants to live there." And there's like airplanes going over it. But he just seems to think it's this great thing, and he's like, in fact, he's got like a holiday home, and it's over like under like power lines and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just thinks it's amazing. But it's such a lovely film and really quite
cute,
funny.
isn't it?
Yeah. It's
I
really
think Ian recommended it to me, or someone did.
Yeah.
I got it misconstrued with The Keep, didn't I?
Yes, that's Jürgen Prochnow fighting demons, I think.
Yeah. Or The Gate.
That's not Jürgen Prochnow, but it is demons.
So my one is...
On the Venn diagram.
My one I think you're going to agree with. John fucking Wick. That movie is superb.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah,
I watched it on the plane. I watched it on the plane back from Singapore, not realising it hadn't hit cinemas in the UK yet. So when I was back, I was like, "Oh, I might buy it for my dad for his birthday on DVD."
Nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's just one of those movies. Like me and Brad have talked about my feelings on various movies, including Punisher, Warzone. And there's little touches in movies like that make sense. Like every time he goes from room to room, clears out a room of enemies, he reloads all his guns. Like stuff like that, little things that make perfect sense.
You appreciate
that you get it. It's like, oh shit, I never even noticed that they don't do that in other movies, and obviously it avoids that kind of click click click. Oh, I've used up all my bullets kind of cliche. I mean, granted,
you
it's
don't
not.
Find yourself questioning what is
happening.
Happening.
Don't get me wrong. Like Warzone is not devoid of cliche, but it just has room for other
That
ones.
was such a great cast and such a terrible script.
There's a lot of it that's not to like, but there's a lot about it I do like.
Wayne Knight's microchip is some of the best cast
absolutely,
in the comic movie.
Totally agree. And Dominic West's Jigsaw as well. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ray Stevenson.
I like Ray Stevenson's Punisher a lot.
I like it until he opens his mouth and it's not Thomas Jane.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I can't think of any other voice.
I have that with all films.
I've heard
Frozen.
I've heard in comics. I've always said whenever I've read Doctor Strange, it's been Vincent Price's voice in my head.
Yes,
and looking back as a kid, it was always his voice.
Yeah.
I've always said Ben Grimm has always sounded like Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And I don't know at what point I started reading Magneto's voice with Ian McKellen's voice.
It makes sense.
I don't point doing it now.
Yeah. It's either that or Bob Newhart, really.
Yeah.
Picture it. Oh yeah. But yeah, John Wick has a lot of those really sensible action movie. It gets rid of those action movie cliches by doing sensible stuff in the script.
Yeah.
Plus the performances are good, and Keanu Reeves makes for actually a freaking great
He's due a comeback.
action movie bastard.
He's waiting for the call from Tarantino to revitalise his career, I think.
Could well be.
Fuck, he would be great in a Tarantino.
Or he could be like, he could go down the route of Liam Neeson and just become an action movie guy for a few years and then do something else. Like it seems to be what Liam Neeson's done. It's worked pretty well for him.
Yeah.
Although Taken 3, I saw that on the plane back and that's fucking dire.
I tend to ignore. I like Taken.
Tend to ignore Liam Neeson.
I tend to ignore him. He's a bit needy.
Joel, do you want to hang out?
No, Liam.
What are you doing instead?
Well.
Do you need a particular set of skills? I saw a lot of cool films on the plane actually, like because obviously it's a long flight and they have these massive catalogue of stuff. I saw Gone Girl. That's fucking fantastic.
That is a terrifying film.
It is. It absolutely is. But there are people who exist who are like that. Yeah. You know,
both of them, interestingly, were cunts, which is what I like.
Yeah.
Like, they were both
there was no redeeming quality. There were redeeming qualities to them, but they weren't redeeming characters. They weren't good characters.
Yeah.
Like as in good, and the book's really good as well because I read it just before I saw the film. It's pretty cool. Definitely recommend that. Well, I'm going to end it there because we've been going for quite a while actually.
Yeah.
So for the cast with me, Sal Crouch.
I'll take my 2p back.
Brad Harmer.
I'll take his 2p back.
How's that? No, wait, never mind. Blake Harmer.
I've got no money.
I've been your host, Rob Wade. Thank you for listening to The Crazy Train. If you like the show, you can subscribe on iTunes and you can also find us on YouTube for previous episodes. You can find us on Facebook at Emotionally14. You can find us on the web at emotionally14.com. You can find us on Twitter at Emotionally14. There's individual Twitters. I'm at Rob Wade Vision. Sal Crouch at Gross. Blake's at Fuck's Sake Blake. Brad's, you say you haven't got your Twitter anymore? Okay, fair enough.
I'm Brad.Harmer on Instagram if people want.
Okay, cool. Brad.Harmer on Instagram. You got an Instagram?
Dick pics.
That's you!
That's me.
Wow, you've done well for yourself, dude. Good ass. Yeah. Benicio del Toro.
That was a nice bag of penises.